Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Self-Care Sunday. Miss Mariah, what do you have in your mouth? What are you doing? Can't talk to me, you guys. What's happening? Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you swishing around in your mouth? Give her a second. Mariah, can you hear me? Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm so confused. What is she doing?
Hi.
Hey, what are you doing,
I was doing my daily practice of oil pulling.
Oil pulling. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, oil pulling is one of the timeless practices of Ayurveda that we do, and what it does is it helps to pull the toxins out of our system. So we have, over time, accumulation of toxins begins to build up in our systems, so our channels, and the oil pulling actually helps to remove these toxins, which in turn gives us it clears our perception. It clears all the senses, so we can hear better, we can see better, we can smell better, we can taste better. Essentially, we're removing the buildup of the toxins.
Cool. And so how often do you do this? And one thing I want to tell you guys, we are doing this Self-Care Sunday online because Mariah and I are in two separate areas. So that's why we got our videos here. We're not together, sadly, this Sunday, but we're still going to bring you guys the best information on our Sunday, not letting anything stop us. So Mariah, how often do you do oil pulling?
Every day. Every single day. Yeah.
Okay. And so if I was to start, this is something that I do as well. I don't do it every single day, but I definitely do it. How often, if someone was going to start doing oil pulling, how often should they be doing oil pulling and why? Like what, okay, you say every day. So how many times a day and when during the day? When is the best time or the times to get it in and do it?
Well, it really depends on your schedule, your circumstances. We want to do oil pulling on an empty stomach. So myself personally, whatever is going on in my life, I either fit it in the morning or in the evening. So in the morning before I eat breakfast, or in the evening after I've digested my food. So it depends on where I'm at in the stages of my babies, my children. I'm in this transitional period where I'm now shifting it to the evening. I was doing it in the morning while I was pumping, but now that just isn't working. So in the evenings,
do that to you sometimes.
You've got to roll with it, right? You got to work
around them, but we still make it work. We don't make excuses up. We're like, okay, we'll still do this. It might not be when it normally was, but we're still going to make it happen, right? So yeah, so you do it.
We've got to be adaptable. Absolutely.
Cool.
So if you're new to oil pulling, I would start, up to you, but I would start with 3 to 5 minutes just to get yourself used to it, because when I first started to do it, it was a lot of work for my mouth because you're swishing oil. I now go 20 minutes. There's 20 minutes is maximum. You don't need to go longer than that. But absolutely start with 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, work your way up to 20. And I now do about a tablespoon of oil, but you may want to start with just a little bit to just get familiar with the texture and the whole process.
Yeah, because it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different when you do start getting going. And I take the big scoop, put it in, you kind of have to chew it to let it melt, and then you can really get going. So you do yours in the evening, kind of, after the kids are in bed kind of thing. I do mine if you're somebody who wakes up in the morning and you go to the gym before, your husband goes to work. I go to the gym in the morning and then I come home. I mean, if I was really smart, if I could plan this right, this is maybe my New Year thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to put the coconut oil in my vehicle and I'm going to do it on the way home from the gym, because I usually do it when I get home from the gym, which is 7 o'clock. And sometimes the girls are up, sometimes they're sleeping, but that's an idea for myself, is I'm going to put it in my vehicle. I'm going to listen to my podcast on the way home, put the coconut oil in my mouth and just swoosh and drive. And there we go.
Yeah. So that's what we call habit stacking. If we're smart about it, we habit stack, and it doesn't have to be this grand thing to add these self-care practices in. You just stack it when it's convenient.
Totally.
when I first started, Josh would wake up and I would already be halfway into my oil pulling. So just like at the beginning of the conversation, he would be talking to me like,
I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, fit it in. If you're a busy mom, not a busy mom, you're a hustler, you're working, whatever it may be, even if you could just try and get it in during the day, you're doing better than not even doing it at all. I learned about oil pulling when I was in school. That was like when I was like 20 or something like that. And yeah, I do it here and there. I think it's really gross too. I feel what comes out when you spit it out. So let's talk. Where do we spit it out? Why do we not want to spit it in certain places? And my third question would be, is there a certain coconut oil that you suggest for people to use?
Yes. So, okay, so a few things about the oil pulling is you never, ever, ever want to swallow it. Make sure you do not swallow, which is why if we're new to it, we start with just a little amount, because if there's a lot and you're getting used to it, honestly, some people might gag at first because it's just a new experience in their mouth, but you want to start with a small amount. Do not swallow it and do not spit it down the sink or the toilet, just because it could over time clog the pipes.
Yeah.
So
because it comes in its hard substance, you guys. So if it's going to be sitting there cold, it could clog up and get hard again. So don't swallow it.
That's right.
Just kidding.
Yes. So yeah, don't swallow it, because it's going to make you sick. There's toxins that are being pulled out and you're swallowing it.
And we're not saying, let me just recap. We're not saying don't eat coconut oil. There's a difference between cooking with it and eating with it and oil pulling. When you're oil pulling, you are pulling a lot out of your mouth, so don't swallow that stuff, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, and I always do this when I'm only oil pulling, but when you're oil pulling, you don't want to swallow. Like, I know you kind of said that, but there's times you're like, I need to swallow, and just don't swallow, right? Try not to.
Yeah. If you feel like you need to swallow, go spit it out. You don't want to swallow it. Yeah. You'll figure out the technique where you're swishing it around, and
it's gross after when you do spit it out into the garbage can or outside. After, you still feel like stuff in there. Like, I kind of sometimes have to get water, swish around, and then spit out stuff, because there's still stuff that's coming out of my throat, and it's absolutely crazy. So if you're somebody, because I've told people who do this a lot, if you're somebody that always goes right, that normally means that you might have to say something, or it means that you're sensitive to something that you're eating. And I was somebody who would always do that, and since I've done oil pulling, I feel like that kind of goes away, and then I'm able to figure out what foods I'm eating to kind of stop it. But whenever someone goes a lot, and I'm like, try some oil pulling and just see. You might have some toxins in there to just kind of
right. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I myself use, you want to use an organic cold pressed virgin coconut oil. I know the Health Hut sells that. Save On sells it. Yeah.
Go on Tuesdays. First Tuesday of the month at Save On, you got 15% off. If you buy 3 or more coconut oils at the Health Hut, you get 15% off. Any 3 things that you purchase there, you get 15% off. I hope they still do that.
Good to know. Yeah, so you may as well stock up if it's going to be a daily practice.
Totally.
You can use coconut oil. You can also use sesame oil. So if you're using sesame oil, again, get the cold pressed sesame oil. Because there's if it's not cold pressed, the procedure of processing the oil or the nut makes it it takes away the medicinal properties, essentially. So always get cold pressed.
There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah. So because you were oil pulling at the beginning, I want you to say who the heck you are. I'll start it, and then I'll get you to start it, because normally we do this. So Mariah and I have been doing these videos for the past, this is our 4th one. My name is Jenna Trudeau, and I'm actually with Tupperware, and she came to me in a yoga class, because before I joined Tupperware, I took my holistic nutrition. I was working at the Health Hut, one of my favorite local stores in town. And something that I do with my Tupperware is I help people meal prep. I help them save time, save money, and save energy. And my motto behind my business is health and hustle. And I'm a firm believer that you have to have the health before you can do the hustle. I am all about self-care. I'm all about, like, I'm a mom. I'm busy. I love to be busy. And 2019, I was really able to kind of focus on my health. And I'm ready to hustle in 2020. And so when Mariah came up to me in yoga class, she was like, we need to work. We need to do something around meal prep. I don't know what it is, but we need to work together. And so we've been doing the 4 series. This is our 4th series of the Self-Care Sundays. And I've learned a lot from her. We've learned a lot from one another, and we just love working together. So we actually have something exciting that we're going to share with you guys that's coming in the new year. And I'm just going to get little Miss Mariah to kind of share a little bit about what she does and how she got into what she does. And the cool thing in learning all of this, our health path kind of started around the same time. I think it was 2008, we said. That's when my journey into health started. When my auntie took me to Hawaii, and she's like, I was living on hot dogs, nothing but hot dogs. And she could tell that hot dogs probably weren't the best things for me. Lots of inflammation. I was a teenager. And so she took me to Hawaii. She said, let's try the Eat Clean cookbook. Let's try the Eat Clean diet. And I was like, okay, whatever. And in my mind, thought I was going to come back to Canada and I was going to go back to my hot dogs and crappy eating. But in that 2 weeks of being there and taking care of my health and taking on the Eat Clean diet, I felt better than I ever felt before. And so ever since then, nutrition and health has been contagious in my life. And I love to just kind of spread it everywhere I go. So that's kind of a little bit about me. Now I'm going to get Miss Mariah to share about what she does and how awesome she is. Take it away, Mariah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Mariah Loveland, and I have a background in Ayurveda and yoga. I started to study both of them around 2007, 2008. So I think what really drew me to both of yoga and Ayurveda, now that I'm looking back in retrospect, is they're practices that connect me to myself. They're practices that take me within and really allow me to take a look at what's happening within, and then from there, use these tools, these practices to really clarify from the inside out. And so, yeah, we all kind of know what to do when we hear it. We all know the things like early to bed is good for us, early or lighter plant-based diet is good for us, and things like oil pulling. You hear it, it may make sense to you. So we know what we could be doing, should be doing to have a better sense of self, a better life, a healthier life. But there's this gap often between where we are and what we know we should be doing. And so I guess my purpose is to help us fill that gap, to help us strategize how to get from here to there, how to implement these daily practices so that they're just that simple daily habits that help us
inspire people to do it as well. Yeah.
So that's why we're here.
Exactly. That's why we're here. So with Christmas being over, I mean, I'm sure some people have, indulged in some of the foods, indulged in some of the drinks, indulged in, some of the toxicity,
late nights,
family diets, whatever it may be. But Christmas is the best time of year. It's okay. We've said this in our Self-Care Sundays before, that it's the 80-20 rule. Like, nobody's absolutely perfect. Mariah and I have both. We love wine. We drink wine. We've talked about this. But we always try to find other solutions as well. We both have eaten pizza. Like, nobody is perfect. But like we said, it's the 80-20 rule. And I notice when I do eat those things that I feel like crap. So if you can be really in tune on how you're feeling, that's like the best gift that you can give yourself. And so with Christmas being over and some people kind of feeling the urge to detox, all of that stuff over the past few days, because Christmas, the New Year is like 3 days away, I wanted to give you guys a few tips, some of what we talked about to kind of help detox some toxin from your body, detox the mind, detox the physical, mental, emotional state. and some things that we had for you guys. Mariah, do you want me to talk a little bit about them, or do you want to say some of yours right now? We're not together, so this is hard.
Yeah, to go back to the lemon water, go back to sipping hot lemon water between the meals. That's really going to help the body detox on like the cellular level. We're going to have a cellular detoxification if we reduce what is going in so the body can digest more efficiently.
Yep. Organic lemons, you guys. So hot or warm or lukewarm or room temperature water. Try not to drink cold water. Not the greatest for the intestines. Think about your hands when you go outside and it's cold, and you know, you touch snow, your hands get super cold and a little bit more slower. But when there's warmth and you got your mitts on, they're a little bit more movable. So kind of think about your digestion in that sense as well. So if you're someone who always has your swell with, you know, your ice cubes in it and you're drinking it, that's great, but think about your digestion as well. So try to do, like I always do my Tupperware water bottle because it's always room temperature water, or lukewarm water throughout the day.
Especially in the winter, because if it's cold outside, that's gonna just your digestive system is gonna have to work a lot harder when it's colder outside.
Yeah.
So it's affected by the weather.
Totally. So warm lemon water, something Mariah loves to do. For myself, it is working out. Working out is my great detoxifier, stress reliever, a mind clearer, like all of that stuff. That is like, working out is my thing. So if you currently have your mind set for 2020, where like, I'm going to work out, figure out that time that works best for you, whether it's in the morning, it's in the evening, like it doesn't have to look perfect. As long as you can get in. If you can't get to the gym that day, do something else to kind of just even get the body going, get some kind of sweat worked up. The kids are down for a nap, run the stairs in the house. That's what I've done. I got some stairs that I'll just kind of run. Just something to kind of just get it going, right? Put some music on.
Get the body moving.
Exactly.
Yeah,
just
circulation.
Get the body moving. And that's one thing over Christmas. I'm just like, I'm so tired of sitting. Like, let's get outside and go for a walk. Let's do something, right? So working out. And you know, if you say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym today, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, whatever. Don't break a promise to yourself. Just go, just do it unless you're like absolutely feeling sick or ill. But yeah, never break a promise. Just do it. Go. You'll thank yourself after. It'll feel good. It might feel hard getting there, but once you're there, you did it. You did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, working out is my thing. What Mariah just did when we started this call.
The oil pulling. Yeah.
The oil pulling.
Detoxify. Yeah. Especially we were talking about detoxifying the mind. The oil pulling is perfect for just clearing the senses, clearing the mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And then clean eating, just watching your diet, watching some things that you're eating, you know, be mindful in the new year on foods that you're eating that make you feel really bad. Like, for example, like my dad, I'm so proud of him. He's had like knee problems, and now he knows he'll wake up the next day. He's like, my knee's inflamed. I'm like, well, Dad, what did you eat yesterday? He's like, well, I ate this, this, and this. I'm like, your body doesn't like those things. So your knee's going to swell up. It's going to cause more inflammation. So try to be mindful. If you have pain one day and you don't have it the next day, literally think about what you've eaten in that last 24 hours that can make you do that. If you have bad skin, what have you eaten in the last 2 or 3 days to make your skin break out? Like, be mindful. That's like the biggest thing. Be mindful of how you're feeling when it comes to eating. So clean eating, right? So lots of veggies, produce, getting away from the processed foods, you know, sugary things, pops. What else can you throw in there for me, Mariah?
Yeah, just think of the whole foods. If it's man-made, your body doesn't really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's been processed, then it's just that much more for your body to try to figure out what to do with it. So yeah, whole foods.
Yeah.
If it grows from the ground, awesome.
From the ground up. That was my wedding song. My favorite song.
Oh.
And then celery juice is another one. Grab a Vitamix, grab a blender, whatever. Put some celery juice in there. Just try and do celery juice. Blend it up. Drink it. Great for detoxification. Great for clearing the mind. Great for a lot of things. Celery juice.
Yeah, I like to add a little bit of lemon in the celery juice is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little tangy sometimes, but if you put a little lemon in there, you're getting some extra detoxification in there. Yeah. And then last but not least, your favorite thing to do in the whole wide world that I try to get more in my life, even if it's once a week,
The yoga.
Yoga.
The yoga. I do love yoga. A trick of mine, so it's better to be consistent. Consistency is key. So for myself, I know when I had my daughter Olivia, we were just like, you know, life changes, schedules change.
Yeah.
There actually isn't a schedule with the baby. So,
yeah.
so my promise to myself was 3 sun salutations a day. And that is at least something where I have, it's like a 15 minutes, just me, and I go through those cycles. And honestly, it's better than nothing. Sometimes I have to stop at 1.5 because she wakes up, or sometimes I get the full 3 and then I can go for longer. But there's just like, the movement, just commit to body movement.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's only 15 minutes a day, and then you can fit the classes in when you can throughout the week, you know, 50-hour long.
Or there's that app now. I had it when our Ava was super young. What is it called? That yoga. Oh, I had it. What is it called? It's like yoga on the
Gaia?
go. No, there's something else. Oh, brother, I can't think of what it is. I can't remember, but it was really good. Okay, so anything else that we need to add to that? So those are some detox tips for 2020. If you're going into the new year and you're like, I feel like I need a little bit of detoxification, no one's judging you if you had too much wine, too much food, like not one bit. We are not here to be like, hey, you, why did you drink wine? Like, that's not why we do this. We just want to inspire people. We want to help you guys live the best life that you can, feel the best that you can, whether you're a mom or a dad, whatever you may be, or not a mom or dad, a dog mom, a cat mom, like living your life. That's really all it's about. And so one thing that I'm really considering this year, not that I do it every year, but I always ask myself, how do I want to feel January 1st when I roll into the new year? How do I want to feel? So just be mindful on New Year's Eve. I keep wanting to say Christmas Eve. Be mindful on New Year's Eve on how do you want to feel when you wake up on January 30th and entering our next decade, 2020, which is like, I still cannot believe it. So we're 3 days away, literally. It's the 29th today. That's 3 days away, right? Yeah, 3 days away. And so something that I am a huge believer of, and I know Mariah is well, is your goals. Do you have your goals for 2020 figured out yet? If you don't, you still have time. I know I was adding more to mine today and really simplifying it. So getting really clear on what you want to do in 2020. And I was actually listening to a podcast today. Rachel Hollis is like my girl. We were driving to my grandma's today, and she did a podcast with Trent Shelton, and he was kind of talking about the 3 Ds. So when he sets his goals, he kind of has the 3 Ds behind it as well. So the first one is destination. Where do you want to go? You know, where does that look like? Where's that destination? Where do you want to be in 2020? What does that look like? What do you want to have? Where do you want to be in your business, financially, whatever that may be? What is your destination? What is like your end goal to where you want to be? And then the second D was directions. So if I say, okay, we're going to go to, Maui, what's my direction to get there? How do I get there, right? So this is my goal. Now, what do I have to do to get that to that direction, right? It's not gonna be like, okay, I got this, I got it. I know what my goal is. I know it, right? It's like, okay, well, we got to put the work into it. So what are the directions to get you to that, closer to that destination? And then the third thing that you have to have is the drive. So you can't just be like, okay, I got my destination, I got the directions, oh, let's wake up, let's do this, right? You have to have the drive. You have to have that car that's going to drive you to that destination and the directions in the way. So those are the 3 Ds to think about in 2020 is your destination, the directions to get there, and the drive that you're going to have. And so going back to the whole oil pulling thing, you're going to have that clear mind. So set your goals in these next few days before 2020. If you have your goals already, amazing, super exciting. And one goal that Mariah and I kind of had before we got together was something that we wanted to do in the new year. So I'm going to let Miss Mariah kind of take it away on what we have upcoming in January.
Yes, so January 20th, Jenna and I have a special event where we're going to talk about meal prep and organization. So the purpose behind meal prep and organization is to really create efficiency in your life, efficiency in your energy, freeing up more time. So Jenna and I have been practicing. I know myself, I've been practicing meal prep for a while, and Jenna, I'm guessing that you have also.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to share the tips, like the tried and true ways of meal prepping with a family, because it can be a struggle. It can absolutely be a struggle. And if I've experienced it where it's not in my life and there's chaos and just a very big lack of efficiency and lack of nutrition. And I've experienced where I'm on my A game and meal prep is just like clears the way for a better life. It really does. It takes out wasted mental energy, wasted fatigue, wasted all of it. So
wasted money.
Yeah. Money is a big
right?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we talk meal prep, it's meal prepping for the week. It can be having meals prepped in the freezer, just anything to make it a lot easier than being like, what do you want to have for dinner? I don't know. What do you want to have? Well, you know what? Let's go eat out. Let's just whatever. We got all this food in the fridge. That's just sitting there in the fridge, in the bags, in the crisper drawers. They better be in Tupperware modular mates or fridge smarts. Just saying, we're going to talk about that. But not wasting the money and actually putting it to use and fueling your body with the right foods and being able to, just meal prep and organize. And then organizing, whether it's your fridge or your pantry or your kitchen. Is your kitchen really jiving with you? Or is it a place that you just don't want to spend because there's just
isn't working for you
everywhere? You're like, I don't know where that is, so I'm not going to cook. I can't find, this in my fridge ever, so I'm not even going to cook, right? So we're going to kind of give you guys some tips on meal prep, give you some really great tactical tips that you can take home and start doing the next day. So we're super excited. So January 20th, the location is to be determined, and it'll be between 7 and 9 p.m. We had a poll going out for lots of people to do organizing and declutter, or meal prep and declutter, and we felt, and voters voted, meal prep and organize was the one we're going to start out with. So we're super excited. So Monday, January 20th, mark it in your calendar, 7 to 9 p.m. We hope to see you guys all there.
We'll see you there.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being a part of our Self-Care Sundays. Thank you, Mariah. And is there anything that you want to add
Jenna.
before I end this?
Just one last thing, just to touch on the whole setting our trajectory for the new year, 2020, the new decade, is having a clear mind so that you can really get clear on what the destination is for you. Mm-hmm. So Jenna mentioned, with the oil pulling helps clear the mind, because if our mind is scattered, we can't quite reach the end goal. We don't even know what the end goal looks like. So so keep up with these daily practices of detoxification, see the destination, and then from there, the drive can arise. You know why you're going for this destination.
Yeah. Totally. I love it. So thank you, everybody. Happy Self-Care Sunday. Thanks for joining us on this recorded call, and we hope that you guys all have a great day. Bye for now.